Welcome back to the SP Network with your boy Alec Killer. I want to say happy Juneteenth. I want to say happy Father Day to all the fathers that's actually in their kids' life and doing something that's more important. I was just having a conversation with one of my OGs, and it was like, uh, fathers only get 2 days out the year: Father's Day and their birthday. Let's change the narrative. When you're actually a father in your child life, that's 367. Not 365, 367 days that's not even accounted for yet. When you actually a father and you actually in your kid's life, that's 367. So I want to say happy Juneteenth, happy Father Day. This is going to be a quick recap because I felt some type of way. First of all, the UFC had a whole promotion at the White House. One of the most sacred places to where we got to protect our president. And we got a UFC program in the White House where they're walking out the Oval Office as their stand down. Maybe it's something I'm missing, but we can't even come to grips with our allies and to figure out how we take out the people that's against us. There's nobody against us. They only against the moral compass of what our leader do. But we can have a whole UFC matchup at the White House. And they can walk out of the Oval Office, which is supposed to be one of the most prestige situation. I know they're gonna say, "Well, the security was there to make sure they don't touch nothing." That they shouldn't have been there. And then you have this fighter decide to say something very disrespectful to my president's first lady, talking about that's a man when she created two beautiful daughters, and it's evidence of it. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. I didn't like nothing about the situation. Nothing about it. We're forgetting reality, morals, and just the compass of being moral and how we're raising our youngins to believe. That's why y'all don't see me so much on the internet because it's like it done took over our world to where we can't think for ourselves anymore. I love to see fight because the triggers in my brain tell me that it's a comeback. When I seen it at the White House, I was like, I don't like it. So I didn't watch it. I'm sorry, I didn't watch it. But then I see clips of this kid come out here and disrespect Michelle Obama for no other reason but just to be disrespectful. But Trump, you allowed this to happen. But it blessed me when I seen Obama and Michelle said we're going to open this. It showed you the world is so messed up. We're going to open this up. They've been working on it for years, way before we got to where we go. They knew this way ahead of time. And this is how you're going to talk about her. Disrespectful. My mother is black. My grandma is black. My daughters are black. Whether their stature look a little bit more manly or how they move around or anything, it doesn't matter. They're women. And for you to use that as a punchline, I didn't like it. And I felt some type of way about that. And I'm not cool with that. But shout out to Barack and Michelle to get the biggest flex to say, this is what we're going to do then. We're going to open this presidential center to make sure that we move the world in the right direction. So I can't get a third term if y'all allow it, because America say you only can get two of them. But if you allow it, I'll show you what I did in my time. Not saying he was perfect all the way through, but he did do some great things in his time. And it's like he spoke like we spoke. But he was like, y'all allowed, I go after again. But let me open up this community-based situation to make the future better. That's God body. That's God body. The word is in turmoil. We don't know what our president might do tomorrow. We don't know how he might, what side of the bed he might wake up on and decide that he just want to start a war with somebody that ain't got no real beef with us because he don't know what he doing. Yeah, I'm checking you, Trump. I've been checking you for the longest, and I ain't stopping because we don't know your intention. We don't know if you really care about our well-being. We only know that you're going to make sure that you're good and you're hurting America. All ages of America. The way Obama done broke that down, like we talk about our immigrants, they build up the world. Nobody killed more than the monopoly, right? In this world, people say black people are the most killers. That's a fact. And people are looking at me like, killer, what you talk about? Because every entity comes from us. All the entities, we are all the same. Even our more pale people just don't understand that it come from our entity. They just happen because they so close away from this, they so far away from the sun and close to the moon that they just mass murderers. Not saying that every era ain't got mass murderers, but most mass murderers you see where it's at. It's the ones that look and think that we're inferior to them when they should be more inferior to us. This ain't me talking, this God talking. Because he speaks through me and let me say what I need to say in the moment. But if you think about it, if you look at majority of America, even us as African Americans are a low on a totem pole. Mexicans even lower, Chinese even lower. Like it keeps going down because it's more fair skin that you believe that that's the most inferior race. But the ones who know, they know and they rock with us. But the ones who don't know, they feel like we are the worst of the worst. They call us all type of names. They be disrespectful. They say they anything they can say the most racist. Even with this case, and I don't want to touch on it because I had to tell my brother like I jumped on it too quick before I knew what was going on. I don't know what's going on. But even with that case, it turned to a situation and say that look how his daddy jumped back outside and spoke. Very disrespectful for what reason? You won. It wasn't no need for you to be more disrespectful or come up and make us look like we're not on the same totem pole. We did this again. But people forget that we all came from the same origin. If we all a human society, we are all of the same origin. And then if you really look at it, started with me. People who looked like me. But it's okay. I don't want to have that battle with people because I don't want to make that an anomaly. But I'm willing to have that battle if we're going to negotiate and we're going to talk about what's the next step to get better. What Obama and Michelle just did, and then I like the way Michelle flexed though. Michelle did a flex. She was like, all right, I'm a man, right? I created these two beautiful girls who actually doing something with their life. They actually pushing themselves to the upper excellence without being in the upper excellence because they don't feel like they better than nobody else. They just feel like I put myself in position to say this is why I'm gonna get here. Michelle flex. And what else Michelle do? She showed love to her king. She said, we don't do none of this without him. Our communities are so out of whack right now to where sometimes, I ain't gonna even say that because sometimes the men ain't doing their job, but our community is so out of whack to where your queen's supposed to be praising you to say that, hey, he that, and I got him 100%. Because these other communities, this clear community, they do it, but they do it a different way. They make their queen say, stay at home, you can't do nothing else but what I tell you to do, and I can go out here and I do everything. In our community, the God community, we're pretty much wanting our queen to be just as equal as us, but at the same time acknowledge us in the higher level. I'm blessed. I'm one of the ones that's blessed that I am put in a higher level. This Juneteenth weekend, this Father's Day weekend, I feel all of it. I don't feel like I'm left out. I know I ain't getting no socks and drawers this weekend. For one reason, they celebrate me every single day of the year. They don't wait till this time come to celebrate me. They celebrate me throughout the year, and it's reciprocated throughout the year. It shouldn't have to be a date. My kids don't wait for Christmas because they blessed throughout the whole year with knowledge. So if you want it, go get it. Ain't nobody coming down no chimney to bring you nothing. Let me teach you how to go get it so you can get what you want. And if you can't get it and you come to dad, dad got it for you. I'm a father first. That brings me on my God tip. When you learn to be in the spectrum to say that I'm going to do the best to make the next person better, that's when you get that status. It's not all for you. And that's just keeping it a fact. But I do feel like dude was very disrespectful, disrespected Michelle. But this is social media world. I can go all day and speak how bad that is. I can go at Joe Rogan. I can go at Danny White. I can go at everybody and say, y'all should have cut that off. Y'all should have stopped him. No, that's a freedom of speech. That's what America's supposed to be about. It is a freedom of speech, but he was wrong. But the way Obama came back and way Michelle came back, they didn't go back at him and saying his name. They literally said, let's make America what America's supposed to be at. They didn't call him out. They didn't make a disruption about it. This is what our people is about. This is what our people should be about. But it's just the SP network where we keep it 100 and nothing like BJ Huncho. God body.